you can't fail. You can't fail. If you do what you feel inside is the best thing for you and for the others around you, and I'm talking now about my husband and children, then you do that, you get help, you get guidance, and just trust the universe, trust that it will be okay.
Many people hesitated when you told that you were moving to France, and many people who need to take big decisions hesitate. What would you say to them now, either to yourself back then, or to someone standing at the edge of such a decision about to take this leap into the unknown?
What was quite, I found that quite amazing when we told people that we were going to take this step, that we were going to emigrate. Yes, of course, there are quite a lot of people who say, "Oh gosh, you got everything, why are you doing this?" But then when you tell them a bit why you want to do it, to discover a bit more of the world is so big, why not discover another place? I think 8 out of 10 people said, "Oh, I'd like to do the same. And that's my dream as well." And, but there's so many reasons why I can't. I've got a mortgage on my house. I don't know if the kids could do it. People find reasons to not take that big decision. And I understand, because at some point I panicked as well. But, I think I would say to them and to myself 19 years ago, you can't fail. You can't fail. If you do what you feel inside is the best thing for you and for the others around you, and I'm talking now about my husband and children, then you do that, you get help, you get guidance, and just trust the universe, trust that it will be okay, and there will be help for you. And do not hesitate too much, as I did. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't do it. I hesitated, I really did. But I found out that it was the right step to take, and I did learn a lot by doing this. So has my family. Yes. So I would tell others, don't be afraid.
You would encourage them.
I would encourage them. If that's what you really want to do, do it. Do it.
Because you also made a very dedicated plan, which, of course, practically allows people to not fail. Can you tell us about your plan and the lists?
Before we actually took the step, yes, I think it would be a different story if it's just you, or if it's just you and your partner. But when you're doing this with, in our case, 3 young children, you have to be almost certain that it's going to work, because you can't be 100% certain. It is, you step into the unknown, so that's the hard part. You know what you're leaving, you don't know what you're going to get. You visualize what you're going to get, and you think that's going to be even better than the situation you're already in, because we were in a very good situation. But you don't know, and that's the scary part of it. We planned it very carefully. The theoretical part is, of course, like, make sure your finances are in order, make sure you can speak the language, try to integrate. In our case, help your children with integrating, selling the place you've got, buying the place you want to have. There's just these theoretical things. The emotional side of it is a lot harder, but we can do much more than we often think we can do.
How do you manage your emotions? Because I know that you also started giving workshops based on your legacy, if we can call it that, over the last 18 years.
Yeah.
How do you manage emotions? Give us a little bit of a peek under your veil.
How do I manage emotions? It's a hard question. Yes, I give workshops, and based on all of the things I experienced, especially after my cousin passed into the next dimension, because I've seen the endless possibilities there are, possibilities I didn't believe could exist, which you will read if you want to read my book, and you'll see the things that happened are, for me now, credible, but before incredible. So how do you then deal with all of these things and all of these emotions? Well, sometimes, sometimes there's lots of emotions, and sometimes thinking back of those days, or even now still, you have to cope with all of them, but you cope with them. It's like, when you're put in that situation, you can deal with all of that. And living, I must also say now, living in nature, surrounded by everything we've got here, the trees, the energy of nature. Sometimes when I feel emotionally a bit unbalanced, I take the dogs. You hear one of them now. And I walk into the forests, and I can let go of my unbalance, and I find my energy back. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Was there ever a moment in these past 19 years that you lost faith?
I think I'd be lying if I said no, I never did. In our case, we came from a privileged situation in a way that we both studied, we immediately found a job, we had good salaries, we had a beautiful house which we had built ourselves. You had everything in order, and you thought you were living this comfy life in this comfortable zone.
Which you worked very hard for, by the way.
Which we'd worked very hard for, exactly. But you've got that monthly income, and then when you let go of all of that and you step into something that you don't know, do people want to come? Do tourists want to come? Can I give my workshops? Are people going to like that? Will we have enough income for 5? Sometimes that was in the beginning very hard for me to keep my faith and believe that we could make it in every way, not only financially, but also finding new friends, a new social network, children at schools. Maybe it's just in the beginning that it was very, very hard for me.
Can you say that this journey of 19 years has taught you how to build your faith?
Has it taught me how to build my faith? Yes. It definitely has, because I learned to trust. Full stop. I learned to trust. I don't think I even need to explain that. I learned to trust.
Let's reflect on not just your part, but what this 19-year journey has culminated into. Can we say that it's the legacy of your family, your children, your husband, and you?
Yes, I think we all grew a lot by this step, and like I said, we already were free thinkers and free spirits in the Netherlands. I don't think if you're not, you're going to do this, right? But we learned an awful lot. We learned to go back in. I always say you go back into time. What we've done is going back into time. And because we turn back the clock maybe 50 years with all the modern comfort we have here as well. But we live surrounded by nature. We live more with nature as well, with the elements, the sun, the wind, the rain, the cold. We don't have computer-guided heating systems anymore. When we want to shut the blinds, we have to do that ourselves. It's not just a little button I press and everything comes rolling down and closes automatically. So actually, you could say you go more into, experiencing the elements more, and call it maybe more primitive, but it's also much more rewarding, because it's sometimes harder, but that also makes it the feeling a lot better when you manage to do that as well.
Because you have to cut your own wood for winter. You have to
exactly.
Get your own eggs from the chickens if you have
Yes,
any.
exactly.
So you know where everything comes from.
Yeah, exactly. You know, again, that it's not the supermarket that produces the eggs. It's it's the chickens, and hopefully healthy chickens that can wander around a bit and not live their lives in batteries. But I think for my husband, it meant much more freedom to not have to work at an office anymore, to do his own thing. And for the children, they've learned an awful lot. I mean, the children, I think, benefited from this step, maybe even most of all, because they learned to cope with a new situation. And if you can cope with such a situation, you can cope with many more during the rest of your life. And you're not afraid of anything anymore, I think. And they learn to appreciate different cultures, different backgrounds, different languages, because we meet a lot of people here at the domain as our guests who come from everywhere. And that is so enriching, that is fantastic. And it's not just learning they can learn from you, and we can learn from them. It's that interaction we love. And that's also something I love during workshops, the interaction. It's not just me telling you what to do. It's this, that's fantastic if you can have that with others. That's what we're looking for.
And you not only have paying guests, you also opened your house and your heart to unpaying guests.
Yes.
The volunteers.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very special, isn't it?
Yes, kind of the old economy, right? You can give me something, I can give you something. And I learned from you, you learned from me. And that's what we've been doing for quite some time. And it's fantastic to get to know that many people from so many different countries, and learning about their background and learning things that the, let's say, the usual media don't tell you. And that's also, I think, a fantastic benefit, that you learn, you hear the real story and not the story colored in by our media, television, radio, journalists.